Okay, I'd like to welcome you all here today on the 101st anniversary of the 1916 Rising. We are here again today to commemorate our fallen volunteers, James Glavin and James Ahern. I'd like to welcome my fellow county councillor, Dermot Coyle, for paying us a visit, and for Liam O'Sullivan, Cobh Community for Change, and of course all yourselves, fellow Republicans. We're going to start now by asking Brian Ahern, nephew of James Ahern, to lead the Wreath. Please remain silent for a minute. Thank you. Now call on Paul Sullivan to read the proclamation.
Public na Herdon, the Provisional Government of the Irish Republic to the people of Ireland. Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood, Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. Having organised and trained her manhood through our secret revolutionary organisation, the Irish Republican Brotherhood, and through our open military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army, having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment, and, supported by her exiled children in America, and by gallant allies in Europe, but relying in the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory. We declare the rights of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland, and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies to be sovereign and indefeasible. The long usurpation of that right by a foreign people and government has not extinguished the right, nor can it ever be extinguished except by the destruction of the Irish people. In every generation, the Irish people have asserted their right to national freedom and sovereignty. 6 times during the past 300 years, they have asserted it in arms, standing on that fundamental right, and again asserting it in arms in the face of the world. We hereby proclaim the Irish Republic as a sovereign, independent state, and we pledge our lives and the lives of our comrades in arms to the cause of its freedom, of its welfare, and of its exaltation among the nations. The Irish Republic is entitled to, and hereby claims, the allegiance of every Irishman and Irish woman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens, and declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government which have divided a minority from the majority in the past, until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national government, representative of the whole people of Ireland, and elected by the suffrages of all her men and women. The Provisional Government, hereby constituted, will administer the civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we evoke upon our arms. And we pray that no one who serves that cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must, by its valour and discipline, and by the readiness of its children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called. Signed on behalf of the Provisional Government, Thomas J. Clark, Sean McDiarmid, Thomas McDonough, Padraig Pearse, Eamon Ceannt, James Connolly, Joseph Plunkett. Thanks, Brian.
Okay, just a couple of announcements. Those of you who were not at the commemoration yesterday in Westview, the Cobh 1916 Commemorative Committee are doing a number of fundraisers, and this particular one here is I'll be running the Cork City Marathon on the 4th of June. If anyone wants to help out, either to contribute financially or to help sell the lines, we'd much appreciate it. It's going towards the finishing of the Garden of Remembrance 1916 in Westview, and also a number of other projects that we have lined up. We need your support, we'd appreciate it, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is, in all my years as a public rep and before it, I've come across people who describe themselves as Republican, and I came across people who describe themselves as socialist. And some people would say I'm a Republican but I'm not a socialist, and some people would say I'm a socialist and not a Republican. But the truth of the matter is, if any of you here who listen to the words of the proclamation that was just read out, and you agree with that proclamation, you cannot but be a Republican and a socialist. You cannot be one without the other. It's a contradiction. And I'm afraid, and I watched it and I observed it over the years, we saw politicians, when it suited them, they were Republican, and even in between elections they might even become socialist, and then they just disregard the whole lot. And they disrespect the proclamation, their people and their country. Now, I've come to a decision in the last number of months that this is the last term that I will be serving as a public representative. I'll finish out my term. But I will always be a Republican until I'm under the sod myself, and until the objectives and the principles in that proclamation are fulfilled. I will always be a Republican. But in the meantime, we're going to be addressed here now in a couple of minutes by someone who's going to take up the mantle from where I left off, hopefully. A man who is a Republican, a hard worker, agrees entirely with what he just read out there a while ago, and I have every faith that he will fulfil it with your support. I call on Paul Sullivan to say a few words there.
First of all, I'd just like to thank Kieran, because for 35 years, as he said, on his own, in many a lonely road, he raised a Republican flag and kept it out there, and kept fighting for the people of Cobh, whether they voted for him or not. Thanks, Kieran. I just want to say a brief few words. If Kieran had gone forward for the next election, I would be fully behind him, supporting him. Unfortunately, he's not. I wish to stand as an independent socialist Republican. There is no contradiction in terms as far as I'm concerned. When we think about the men in the grave here today, we are here to honour them, our fallen heroes, and all the men and women of 1916. Their ideology is my ideology. I believe in the proclamation. I believe in equality, social justice and the freedom of our country. 100 years on, a lot of those aspirations have not been achieved, but we must continue the fight. The homelessness crisis in Ireland is a national scandal. Another report today, 7,400 people are homeless. 776 of them are between the ages of 18 and 24, a 78% increase in the last 3 years. The reason for the increase in that group, because there is no one standing up for them, they're being discriminated against, particularly with their social welfare payments being reduced to €100, and there's no one fighting for those young people. I hope to stand up for them and the homeless. We have a situation in Cobh where there's over 800 people on social housing lists. There's 57 acres of council land just out the road here. What are we doing? We need our present councillors to stand up, be counted, and let's see what's happening. We can start by finding out where is the planning process. Can we build there tomorrow if we get the money? Disability and health. We all know the situation with the health service. Only for the people in Cobh and their voluntary efforts with Cobh Hospital, there would be no service in the town. In an island of 14,500 people, 1,700 are registered with disability. Sometimes when you walk around Cobh, you look at the footpaths and the roads where for an able-bodied person it's hard enough, but with people with disability it's even harder. If I'm elected, I'm going to take up the advocacy for the homeless and our health service and the disabled. On the national scale of how councils are run, I won't bore you with the figures. We should have 11 councillors in Cobh based under the Boundary Commission report. We only have 7. A further dilution of the democratic wishes of the people. The councils are run by CEOs and engineers and clerks who are not represented. It needs to be handed back to the people. We have a right under subsidiarity in the Lisbon Treaty that is the councillors, the elected councillors of the people, make the decisions unless it directly interferes with European law. Again, we need our councillors to stand up and be counted. I am asking you for your support. I will, over the next few weeks and months, put together focus groups where we will listen to the people, put the agenda forward. There is an awful lot of work in it. I've travelled this constituency of 57,000 people many a time with Councillor Claire McCarthy. I know the work, I'm not afraid of it. I would like you, who have a like mind, that you may help me. So to sum up my overall ideology on politics, it's probably best summarised in that I would never stay silent. I would never stay silent. Karen just reminds me when I talk actually about, I have to apologise, I couldn't have showered this morning because for the 6th time in the last 2 weeks the water's off in the Lake Road and no one gives an answer, so anyway. But my political beliefs is that I will not be silent. We have a right to say no. And I will not stand silently when I see injustice. So to define my ideological thinking, it would be to quote 2 men. The great Mandela, Nelson Mandela, when he said, when you are silent in the face of oppression, you are on the side of the oppressor. When I stand up for you, my united country, I think of the eternal words of the immortal Bobby Sands when he was asked, why do you seek revenge? He said, I seek equality, I seek justice, and I seek freedom for my country. When we achieve that, our revenge will be the laughter of our children. Gurmila Wheela Mahadov.
Here you have it, folks. I hope you turn around and help Paul when the time comes. And I hope to see you all here again next year, next Easter. And hopefully you'll call into the Garden of Remembrance. Before then it'll be fully completed. And I hope you enjoy it and show it off to the world, okay? Thank you a lot.
Well done, Kieran.